Ah, forgot to light a candle. I'm gonna go back home and light a candle. All right. Okay, where'd we leave off?
Jacob, it's like Yom Tov. It's not Jacob. It's not Erev Shabbos. It's like Yom Tov. You can light it a little bit later. It's okay.
It's already later.
Oh, there you go.
I got Naftali. Tell him I didn't light a candle. He'll light one in his house.
We'll get right on it. Speaking of which, where's our Baron been? He hasn't been at this. I didn't see him today by the plug either.
No, because he's by the ball games.
He's by the ball game. I figured
played last. Very rare they play 2 nights in a row.
Did you find the candle?
I didn't look even.
I have. I'll get you.
He's on the mission.
I'll get you a 7-day candle.
Okay.
For the whole week.
And the Shama Lomber will be like, no, put the candle.
Make sure you color in Yoshka's face.
Yoshka's. On the can? I don't get it.
I guess because you stole it from a church, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so we left off with Amar Rav Ashi. We get into this is an Akiva daf right here. This has got lots of finance. Yes, he's on. Lots of financial calculations here. We're about 15 lines up from the bottom. Amar Rav Ashi. So before we start, so what's going on over here, the sugi that we're talking about is that we said that if a guy steals and then the animal improves in the ganav's rishus, so and he gives it back, so who gets the improvements? So we said, according to Rav Papa, which seems like we paskin like Rav Papa because we have the brisa like Rav Papa. So Rav Papa said that the Goslin gets everybody. Rav Papa said everybody holds the Goslin keeps it. It's just a matter of how much he has to pay, right? Meaning, does the Goslin only get a third or a quarter? We'll go in the order to the Gemara: half, third, or a quarter, or does he get to keep the entire profit of how it's worth more? Right. So that was the machlokes. So the Gemara now is going to ask that how does he take his money? Does he get paid in cash? Meaning, let's say the guy stole a cow, it was worth $100. Then it went up, the price went up, and it was worth not the price, but he fattened it up, whatever it is, and it went up to $200. So he has to give back the $200, right? But the guy, he has to give back the cow, but the shaila is he gets to keep that extra $100, or does he only get to keep a fifth or a third or a quarter of that? But when he gets back that payment, is he getting it in the form of cash, or is he getting it in the form of meat? Because that's essentially what he did. He made this animal be worth more because of the meat. So that's what the Gemara's shaila is. It's about 15 lines up on the bottom. Someone of Ashi, we of Kana, he asked us. Reb Shimon, so according to Reb Shimon, who says that the Ganav only gets a half or a third or a quarter, who the Shakul Gazan, that's what the Gazan takes, so when we remove him, when we take him away, meaning when we pay him off, do we pay him with money, or do we say that he takes it from the meat? I guess whenever the animal will be shafted, he'll get his portion, his half, third, or a quarter. And we try to say pshat. There are 3 cases where we calculate the shvach, the improvements, but we don't give him the land, we just give him the money. What does this mean? What are the 3 cases? When it's a bechar to a pashat, meaning a bechar who gets double is splitting a Yerusha. Nyana de Yomi. Well, I don't know about the Yerusha part, but the bechar, is splitting with another brother. We'll explain the cases in a minute. And then the other case is a Baal Chayv to a Lekeach, right? That's a Baal Chayv is meaning a lender to give the money to a buyer. Baal Chayv to Yisaimim, and a Baal Chayv to Yisaimim. So what are these cases? So basically the Bechar with the Pashat is that you have two brothers and they yarshin land, right? So normally the oldest, the Bechor, gets 2/3, and the second brother gets 1/3, right? Because the Bechor gets double, right? You split it 3 ways, and the Bechor gets double. Now, what happens if they didn't split it yet, and they just work the farm, they work the field, and then the field goes up in value by a lot, or even not a lot, it just goes up in value. Now they decide to split it. So then how does it get split? Do you take the split from? No, it doesn't get split the same way, because you get the improvements has nothing to do with Yerusha. Let's go with an example. The field is worth $100. Then the two brothers say, you know what? Until we figure out how we're going to split this field, let's just work the field. So they work the field, and now the field is worth $150, right? So when they first yarshin the field, the Bechor was supposed to get $66 worth of the field, and the second is supposed to get 33. Now the field is worth another 50. So now does the Bechor take 100 and the second take 50? That's not fair. The improvements, that 50 improvement should be split 50-50. Right? The Bechor shouldn't get double. Right? So that's what the Gemara says. So the Gemara is saying in that situation, Taka does not get the improvements, but he can keep, meaning he gets to keep 2/3 of the field, but he has to kick back money to the second brother. And he gets to keep 2/3 of the field, but he has to kick it back he has to kick back cash, right? He doesn't have to kick back karka. And then the same thing with the Baal Chayv to a Lekeach, right? Meaning in the classic case, somebody lends somebody money. Obviously, there's a lien on the field, and then the guy goes and sells the field to somebody, right? And now the field goes up in price, and now the Baal Chayv, the guy doesn't pay back the loan, so he goes to the lien holder, he goes to the guy who bought the karka, and he wants to take it back from him. But meanwhile, the field is worth a lot more money. So does the lender get to keep that field even though it was worth a lot more money and the guy put money into it? No. We're saying yes, meaning yes, he gets the field, but he has to kick back the cash. Right? So make sure
You mean to say he pays back the percentage of the revach?
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I said it backwards. I knew there was something wrong with what I'm saying. He does not get the field, but he gets the money. Right? He doesn't get the field. He doesn't. I said that the Bechor gets to keep 2/3 of the field, and then he kicks back the rest in money. That's the opposite. That's the opposite. They split the field, and then the extra, the second one has to give the money. Right? That's what happens. Meaning that, and also with the lien holder sells the field, or whatever, has to pay the Baal for the field. Right? Yeah, I'm sorry for confusing it. And then Baal Chayv Yisayim is the same thing. Okay, so basically, it's very interesting. So what does the Gemara mean to paskin here? When the crook gets paid his half or third or a quarter, does he get paid in cash or does he get paid in meat? So some want to say that you see from this that the payment should be in cash, because that's what we're saying here. The payments have to be in cash. Others say no, the Gemara means that the payment's in meat, because only these 3 cases is cash. Every other case is not cash. So a Gazan is not this case. Right? So we don't even have a clarity on what the Gemara means to paskin. Okay.
Same with everything else.
Yes, 100%. So Amalei Ravina L'Ravashi, Mi Amar Shmuel Baal Chayv L'Lekech Yav Le'Sheva. Does Shmuel mean to say that the Baal Chayv, meaning the owner of the guy that lent the money, gives him back money? He says no. He collects everything. He doesn't have to kick him back any money. Right? He doesn't have to kick back any money. One second. Now he's saying it's the opposite. Maybe I did say it right the first way. I'm sorry. My head is spinning. Based on this, I said it right the first way. The second way is unless one case is one way, one case is the other way. But I'm sorry, I don't have. Yeah, basically, again, the Baal Chayv, I apologize. The Baal Chayv collects the field, and then he has to kick back the improvements that the guy did. Right? With the Bechor, right, the Bechor keeps the field, keeps his 2/3 of the field, and he kicks back the improvements to the second. Yeah.
In cash.
Okay. In cash, not in the field. Right, that's what it is, in cash.
You have to kick back.
No, just the improvements part.
But the whole improvements part. You
No,
have to kick back?
half.
Oh,
They're
half.
partners.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really apologize about that. So yeah, so anyways, we see that Shmuel says a Baal Chayv can collect the whole shvach, and he doesn't give back any money. Meaning a guy lends, according to this Shmuel, it's very good for the lender, right? Those hard money loan guys that take land from somebody, and the land went up, it's worth a lot more. So according to this Shmuel, he gets to keep the whole land, even though it's worth a lot more now. Right? According to the way the previous one was saying, he could keep the land, but he has to kick back the cash. So Malay like kasha, it's not a kasha. Kan b'shevach hamagil l'ksafim, v'kan b'shevach she'em magil l'ksafim. This is also confusing. I mean, it's not confusing. It's just it's confusing for me because it's the opposite of what I would have thought, right? Which is meaningless. But we're talking about a shvach that where the field already reached his shoulders. What that means, Rashi says, is that all the growth is already mature, and it's done. The karka is done, right? Since it's fully grown, it doesn't need the karka anymore, right? So therefore, it's not considered the Baal Chayvs. So since it's not considered the Baal Chayvs, either he has to leave it there, the grain that the improvements were done to, or he has to pay for it. Meaning, so if it's fully done, it's considered like, even though it's still attached to the field, we look at it, it's detached. The Khan, the Shvach Shein Magil, but where it's not, didn't reach the shoulders, meaning it's not fully grown yet, so then it's mamash considered part of the field. So then he's, since it's mamish part of his field, he's allowed to collect it and he doesn't have to pay for it. So he said back to him, he says it's ma'asim b'chol yom. We see that Shmuel, we're going to see on Amud Beis that Shmuel was a big dayan. So Shmuel, it's ma'asim b'chol yom that Shmuel collected for the Baal Chayv, from the things that were up to his shoulder. He said like kasha. Now we start today's daf. Right, so this is a whole machlokes if this is a new teretz or is this just a continuation of the previous teretz. But here we're talking about is where he let's talk the first one is talking about where he collected from the masik needs to collect like the share of the land and its improvements, right? So therefore he collects it without having to pay for anything. Meaning, basically, what happened is that the guy took a loan, right? Then he sold his last field after the loan. His field was worth 100, and he sold it for 50. Right? Meaning he was hard up for cash, so he sold his field at a 50% discount. Then the buyer of that field, who got a 50% discount, put money into it and raised it back up to its price of 100. So Mamela, the Baal Chayv, gets to keep that field, even though this purchaser lost out. But so that's the case where he just the Baal Chayv, Shmuel holds the Baal Chayv gets it. But here it's talking about the case where he has to give back cash, is that he sold the field for the regular price, meaning the field was worth 100, he sold it for 100, and then the purchaser put in 50, so he raised the price. So what is that? Why should that go to the Baal Chayv? Right? Yeah.
Yeah, but why does it still goes back to the original owner?
Because the guy defaulted on his loan, so therefore there was a lien on the property, so he defaulted on his loan.
The person, the buyer, or the who sold it. The one who sold it, he had to tell because he used to a strap of cash.
Right. So there's a lien on it.
Jacob, when did Aaron Travis join the daf?
He's here. He's sitting here, so we let him in. We let him in.
I knew that voice was somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, but just because so why do I have to lose just because I made improvements on the land on the land and now I'm gonna get
Yes, you're gonna lose out.
Why do I lose out?
Because you're a loser. Because you bought
No.
you bought a land with a lien on it, and you improved it. That's all. So if you bought
No,
it,
because I bought from him because he needed what's it called?
good. So
He
you got
needed cash.
Nice guys finish last, Aaron. That's the bottom line. You should know that.
Yeah, of course, but
Yeah, that's the way it goes. Don't do anybody any favors. You're gonna get. Anyways,
Aaron, don't take it personally.
no, I'm not.
anyways, this is for Gershon. It's long Tosfos here. Talks about bra kara davua agav on the yard side. Okay, I don't remember what the whole Tosfos is talking about. I don't even chop it, but whatever. Anyways, okay.
Yaakov, when you sold it, it was, let's say if it's worth $50 at the time you sold it, and now the guy put in all the stuff. Why is that meshubed to the Baal Chayv or to the original Baal Chayv? The fact, if it was only worth that at the time you sold it, why would that be considered meshubed to the Baal Chayv that he could tell? Oh, Damascus, and not that'll pay for my chayv. When it was sold, it wasn't meshubed at that price.
No, he was supposed to get. The Baal Chayv lent him $100. He was supposed to get a field worth $100. Just because the guy fire saled it at 50 doesn't mean that the Baal Chayv should lose out.
But now if it's worth $300,
No, but I'm just saying the only reason why it ever went further up in value is because the guy put in work. It wasn't like it ever had that value when it was Nereshus of the first person that was Meshubah to you.
They're asking if the guy improved it more than the loan, meaning he bought it at 50% off. He put it.
Or let's say he bought it at 100% and he improved it more. Let's just say he bought it at 100% and he improved it more. Would that be Masik Be'ara? Kashir Ara?
I'm not sure. Not sure.
Meaning, it's one thing if he sold it at a discount, but let's say he sold it at full price. Is that, could you still collect the full amount with the shvach because that, let's say you're owed $150 and he made it worth $50 more than what he sold it at? Is that considered Masik Be'ara Shir Ara Shvacha?
Maybe. I'm not sure, Taka. I didn't think about it till now. I hear. I don't know. Meaning once he could collect improvements, so maybe he goes all the way with it.
But again, you're saying the actual cases where he sold it at a discount.
Yeah. That's why I understand it. Okay, bye. It's getting late.
What happens if I don't want to sell? If I don't want to sell it back?
You don't have a choice. Oh, that's the next. Very good, Aaron. That's the next amount. So I'm late. So he said back to him, third line down. Honey, Filamando Amar Islay Zuzi Lilekech Lemotzi Masalik Lilabal. Right, that's good if we say that when somebody has money, meaning you have a guy who lent somebody money, then that borrower went and had a field and he sold that field to somebody, right? And now the guy defaulted on his loan, and the lender wants the field. So does he have to give him the field, or can he just say, "Hey, take cash. I want this field." Right. So it's good according to Mandam, but it says if the purchaser has money, he's not allowed to pay for the money. I mean, I guess he's allowed if the lender wants, but he can't force the guy to take money. Shoppers, and this whole Gemara makes sense. But according to the Mandam, it says that if the Lekeach has money, he's allowed to tell the Baal Chayv, I'm not giving you the land, I'm giving you money. Lay malay. So then in this situation, say to him, if I had money, I would have removed you from the entire land, meaning you would not have gotten this karka. Even though it was a lien, you would not have gotten it because I would have bought you out. Hashta, now, havli griyo da'ara shir shvachai. But at least give me as a calculation of the land, give me at least a piece of the land that's the worth of how much I put into it. Right? I have a hard time understanding this one too. But meaning basically what he's saying, since theoretically, if the buyer of this lien of the land theoretically could have paid cash and told the lender to fly a kite, he can't get the karka, he's just buying it with cash. He's going to give him cash. So since he could do that, So then what he can do is he can tell the Baal Choiv, listen, if I had money, I would have kicked you out of this field, not kicked you out, I wouldn't let you have the field. So now that I don't have the money, but I put in the improvements, so that means it's really mine. So therefore, at least give me a piece of the land that I put money into, or the equivalent of that. Okay, so that's the kasha. So Amalei, so he answered back, we're talking about when he made an apoitiki, meaning the land was an apoitiki. Apoitiki is stronger than a lien. An apoitiki, right, is from apoit to hey koi, meaning your loan is going to be paid back with this field. It wasn't like a lien that if I don't pay you back, you can collect from this field. It's that your loan will be paid back with this field. Which is basically him saying, you're only getting paid from, you have to pay me from this field, and that's it, right? Meaning you don't have a choice. You can't give me money. Okay, that's the hard part of the daf. Now let's see. Amar Rava. So now the Gemara goes through all sorts of variables of people stealing things and doing shinuyim to it, and whether they have to pay, they don't have to pay. That's Amar Rava. Gezel v'shpiach u'macher. Let's say a guy stole something and it went up in price, meaning he put in extra stuff into it, and then he sold it. Or the gazal, he stole it, v'shpiach, and he put in stuff to it, v'hayrish, and then he give it as a yerusha. Masha shpiach machar. So then, what he sold, what the profit is that he sold, masha shpiach hayrish, and whatever profits he gets is going to his yarshim, right? Meaning, basically, whatever rights the ganav has to the improvements, so too that goes to the person he sold it to, and to the kids that yarshim him. Right? So then, what happens if there's a crook and he steals something, then he sells it to somebody else, and then that guy improved it, right? I mean, the previous case was the ganav improved it. This case is that the ganav sold it to somebody, and that guy improved it. Then they go to the guy and say, by the way, it's very nice you put money into this thing, but it was stolen property, so we're taking it back from you. So the guy says, okay, at least let me keep my stuff. Right? So Basa the boy.
Why do we even listen to a ganav? He's a ganav also, right?
Who? The guy that bought from the ganav is not a ganav.
Oh, he's not a ganav. It's only okay, fine.
He didn't know. He didn't know.
I don't know. Does it make a difference if he knew? The Gemara is not mechalik whether he knew or didn't know. Right?
Why are we giving it? Why do we give the Yerush or the Lekech? Why does the Karnas Hashavim apply to them as well? They're not the ones. What are we going to say, that he's never going to be able to sell things because people are worried that he stole it? That's the application over here of the Karnas Hashavim.
The regular din of a ganav is that if a ganav improves things,
he gets to keep it because it's the Karnas Hashavim.
Karnas Hashavim, correct.
So this applies to Lekech.
Do we say that the Karnas Hashavim works for the guy that bought it off the guy?
That's what I'm asking. Why should it go to them? It's already gone from his hands, because then he won't be able to sell it. Meaning, we're making the Karnas Hashavim so that he could go ahead and sell and yarshin things.
Yes,
that's right.
Yes, that's what the Gemara's teretz is. Basa the guy, after he asked it, Hadar Pashta, he answered it. What did the seller, meaning the ganav, sell to the second guy? Kol schus every schus, right? So whatever schus the ganav has, it goes to the guy he sold it to, right? So, right, and Rashi says the same. Whatever money the ganav will get, so too it goes to the guy that purchased it. Fine. What happens if a guy improved it? Then what's the din? Right. So the Gemara agrees with you, Akiva. So Ravachim said to Ravina, are we going to make takanas for a guy? Meaning for a yid who steals, we want to make a takana. I want to make a takana that he returns the stolen items. But a guy, we should do it for a guy. Now it's talking about where the guy stole it and then he sold it to a yid, and then the yid put in the shvach. So Gemara says, if you're coming from a Avik Chacham, so you're like an Avik Chacham. But Tzricha going to Gazel Yisrael, so basically it's a whole chadgadia here. The Yisrael sold it to a guy, and then the guy improved it, Now he went and sold it back to a yid. So now, do we say that this middle ground, where it was a guy in the middle, does that negate the whole heter of takonas hashavim or not? So so since at the beginning it was Yisrael, because Yisrael was the crook, and then ultimately it ended up in Yisrael, since it was a guy in the middle, the Chachamim did not make a takana for that, and we say teku. Right? So we say a teku, that we don't know the answer to that question. Amar Papa. Papa said, "Hi man, the gazal dikla mechavri v'kadle." You have a guy who stole a palm tree from his friend and he cut it down. So basically what happened here is he cut it down and it fell into his property. So the question is, was he kind it or not? So so even though it fell, meaning it was on the border, the tree was on the border between his yard and his friend's yard. So he chopped down the tree and it fell into his yard. So even though it went from the land of his friend to his land, like Connie, he's not kind it. Why? Because there's no shinoi. Again, we're all what? It's still not a shinoi. There's no shinoi Hashem. I know this is Gershon's favorite shinoi Hashem. Gershon likes his stuff. Shinoi Hashem. There's no shinoi Hashem here. Meaning, we're talking about again the whole sugi is talking about if there was a shinoi, so then the gazan is kind it with a shinoi. Right? So basically what happened was this was a palm tree before and it's a palm tree now. Just one is cut down and one is not.
One grow fruit? I'm pretty sure the second one can't.
What do you mean the second one?
I'm saying one of them could grow fruit and one of them can't. Why are you still calling it a deco? Or a top?
One of what? It's the same tree.
No longer can grow fruit. That's what you're saying, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, why don't you ask better? I'm waiting for the oilam to ask better. No, why don't you ask better? What happens when you
It's still karka.
What happens when you chop off the leg of an animal? Then what's the din? That's pashat ashinoi, right? That we said, right?
So this would be if you chop off a branch, then it is a shinai?
No, sir, that's Taisus Kasha. Don't worry, it's a good size. You see all these Taisus? We're gonna do the one that has 6 words, 10 words, whatever. Look at it. Taisus says the guzzle dikru of a cutlet. Right? It's the third Taisus up. It says Avagav the guzzle behem of a cutla. Kani. Somebody steals an animal and chops off its leg, he's kind of the animal because that's a shinui. Awesome have shinui the minkart fei. That's more recognizable. It's more recognizable if an animal is missing a limb. Mashenke tree is not recognizable. Why? I'm not sure, because a tree that's attached to the ground doesn't look the same as a tree that fell down. Right? So I don't know. I'm not sure I understand the Tosis. Okay.
Well,
but anyway,
what's the case here?
chopped
Is the case that he chopped down the tree and then he replanted it in his own field?
No, it fell into his field. It was on the border of his neighbor. He chopped it down and it fell into his field. Right? Yeah, that's what it says. Avagav the shadi me ara la ara didei. He took it from that ara to his ara. Right? So anyway, so Gemara says like is not kind of my time. May kara dikla mikri, v'asha nami dikla mikri. When somebody passes by, they said, "Oh, that's a palm tree." They said, "That's a palm tree."
There's no shlichus yad in this case.
There was shlichus yad, but I guess there's no kinyan to make it that it becomes his. Right?
Why not kinyan chotzer?
Why not kinyan chotzer? There is a kinyan, but it's not a kinyan. I don't know if it's a kinyan, but it's if there's improvements or not improvements, decay. So the question is, what does he have to give back? Right?
I'm very confused here.
Okay,
if he didn't replant it, why he did a hagbah? He actually was kind of. What do you need a shinui for?
I don't think he did
To be
Agba.
kind of that it becomes his. He's a Goslin, but he could just give it back. He could say, here, take it back. That he has to give Damim in its place because he was kind of it already. That's what Rashi says. Yeah, he was a Goslin. The question is if he could say he could do Viheshvitz Exil with the actual tree.
Or if the tree goes up in price or down in price, how do you give it back?
Right. I'm just saying, yeah, he's a goslin either way.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, so let's see. So Meikara Dikla Mikra V'Hashanami Dikla Mikra. So why is it not a Shinui Hashem? Because it's the same name. It was a decal before, it's a decal now. Dikla V'Abed Gubi Loikoni. If it was a palm tree and he made it into logs, he's not kind it. Hashta Mias Gubi the Dikla Mikri, because right now it's called logs of or pieces of wood from a decal tree. Fine. Gubi V'Abdinu Kshuri Koni. If he stole the wood and he made them into kishuri to beams, then he is kaina, right? Because that's a different name. Meaning, as long as it goes to a different name, then that becomes a kinyan, that it becomes his. Kshuri Ravari, we've done a kshuri zutter. If it was big logs or big beams, and he made them into small beams like honey. He wasn't kainid because it's the same name. Abdinu Kitsusei Kani. If he made it into Kitsusei crushing into what's a crushing? Pillars, no crushing in the Mishkan, the boards. Right, if he makes them into boards, then he is kainid. So it's all tali in Shinei Hashem. Fine. Amar Rava, Haiman the Gazel Luliva. A guy stole a lulav, right? A kosher lulav. And then Avdinu Hutzi Kani. And then what he did with the lulav is he ripped off all the leaves.
He made like a basket.
Right? Yeah, to make Kara Luliva, Bekriba Hashta Hutzi. Now it's no longer called a lulav. If somebody sees it, it's going to be called leaves. So Hutzi Vavdinu Chufya, if he takes the leaves and he makes it into a broom, Kani, and all those things he's kind of because it changed the name. Meikara Hutzi, in the beginning it's called Hutzi Vahashta Chufya, and then he made it into a broom. Chufya Va'avde Sharsharura, or he took it from a broom and he made it into a rope. Like Kani is not kind of my time, but why are all these not kind of? Now this has nothing to do with the name. Now the Hadar Sasale Vabichuf, because he can just take apart the rope and make it into a broom. Right? Meaning as long as you could take apart, we're going to see this in the next few lines again, that as long as you could take apart what you did, then therefore it's not a king.
Is this whole sugya about a Shinei Hashem or about a Shinei Maisa?
Now we're
Shinei Maisa's what?
Now we're off of Shinei Hashem. Now we're on to Shinei Maisa.
Until this, it was all Shinei Maisa. Just something is not considered a Shinei Maisa unless it changes its name also. It's not a complete Shinei Maisa. You turn a log into a beam, that's a Shinei Maisa. The question if it's considered a Shinei Maisa because it doesn't change its name. All this, the whole Shiloh was Shinei Maisa. How much do you need to be considered a Shinei Maisa?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened to the Shinei Maisa here. Right?
I think it all is.
I don't even know how Shinei Maisa works.
The question is, if there's no Shinei Hashem, is it considered a Shinei Maisa? It's not enough of a change in actuality, the physical change to be considered a physical change.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it goes. Yeah. I don't know. I wish I had the answers. Yeah. Okay. So again, anything that's reversible, then that's not considered any sort of shina. Now we get into Hilchas Lulav. Right, it's a pella, right? In the middle of Bava Kamma, there's all of a sudden we get into Hilchas Lulav. Right, so Boira Papa, Nefla the Tumas Mao. If you split the tumus, meaning he took somebody's lulav, the tumus is the middle leaf, right? And he split it. That's what we're all looking for in a kosher lulav. He split the middle leaf, right? Now he didn't cut it. He just split it.
Yeah, this is all on Sukkot. If it's not on Sukkot, it's not the same.
I would think this is only on Sukkot. It's a good question.
I'm saying if it's in now, it's not. We don't care. It's not the same.
Chayra, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Tashima, Damar Ramasa, Damar Rabbi Shub and Levi, Mizla Tumas puzzle. If the Tumas was taken, it's puzzle. Okay, on Tom Bay. So what does that mean? My love, who in Lenechlika. does that not mean that the tumis, if you took off the tumis, it's puzzle. So then l'chayra nechlika is going to be also puzzle. So my answer is no. Loi nitla shani the hachasala. Nitla is different because it's actually missing. So since it's missing, therefore it's not the same psul as hider, right? Meaning there's two psulim with lulav and esrog. There's hider, psul hider, and psul chaser. So the Gemara was thinking that it first has to do with a psul of hider. Now it's saying it's a psul of chaser, and it's not chaser, which is why on after the first day sukkahs, your lulav is kosher if it's missing. Even an esrog, mikra adin, you take a bite into your esrog after the first day of sukkahs, your esrog is kosher. Maybe the second day of tzveika the Yomi, but that's it. Really, mikra adin is kosher because a psul and chaser is kosher after the first day. Right? So in Hadar is all 7 days. So that's what we see from this Gemara here that can make a difference. Definitely a tumis, nasa kamisha natla upasul. If this tumis gets split, this is the other way around. If the tumis gets split, it's as if it was removed and it's no longer there, and it is puzzle. Right? But then the whole machlok is exactly how you understand nechlika tumis. What's the pshat? Right? Yeah. So there's a whole tumult here because according to the second shot, so then if it's a psul and hider, so then it is possible if it's split a whole sukkahs. Okay. Right. Amra Papa. Haiman the Gozel after. Yeah.
What Akiva asked, whether it's on sukkahs or not, or someone asked.
The
Rashba writes, it's a raya from Hilchas Lulav to every day. The raya is that on sukkahs, since it goes from being a lulav to hutzi, so not on sukkahs also, the ikara lulav the hash to hutzi.
Yeah, what do you say?
The psul is only for sukkahs. The question of kasher apostle is only on sukkahs. But the question of Shinei Hashem that comes out of this is the whole year. Since on sukkahs it went from a lulav to pasul, and now it's hutzi, so in Pesach also it goes from lulav to hutzi.
And then I'm saying, well, what are you doing with it? Saying, well, who cares?
It's a shinui. Since it changes the din on sukkahs, it's a shinui the whole year.
Nobody's doing anything with it, but we're learning the halacha from it.
What?
No one's stealing
Yeah.
a lulav. No one's stealing a lulav Pesach time, but we're learning the halacha about it. That's what I'm saying. No one's actually doing this now.
Well, if you stole it on sukkahs, you'd have a little vagazel anyway.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, I hear. Okay, let's see. The guy who stole dirt from his friend. And he took the dirt and made it into a brick. Like honey is not kind of my time at the Hadar Mashrulay offer because you could just take a brick, crush it up, and it goes right back to dirt. So that's not any sort of shinoi or improvement. The veins of Avdei Afra, let's say he steals a brick and he makes it into dirt, then that he is kind of. My Amma, what are you going to say? Dilma Hadav Avid Lei Levain. So why can't you take the dirt and make it back into a brick? That's a different brick. It's considered a different brick, a total different brick. So why? I'm not sure, but I mean, you had a brick, you ground it into dirt, and you put it right back into a brick. Why is that?
You had to add something new to it. You had to add new water. The other way around, you don't add anything. You're just taking the same exact thing and changing its consistency.
Hi, Miriam.
I don't know. Rashi doesn't say anything about the water, right?
He does.
Yeah, but you could use the same theoretically. You could use the same
You
water.
can't use the same water. It's gone. There's no water.
Let's say theoretically you use the same water. It sounds like according to Rashi, it would still be Panam Kadosh. Right? See, that's the next line, Rashi. Rashi is impossible to make the brick the same size. Impossible. So so
because the water is included. The previous water is here. It's just dry. So you have more matter. You can't. Yeah.
Okay. The big panam chadash is bolakan that's negaya lemaisa is where the tissues are makabel tumah and the negaya tuchas neither. Right, so tissues makabel tumah because tissues are really wood. So if it's wood, it should be makabel tumah. Should they create? So we say since it's broken down into pulp and whatever it is, and then it's made into a tissue, so then it's not. It's
You don't go with the pre chadash.
panam chadashis. What?
You don't go with the pre chadash.
The what?
It's possible to a yad. The yad is become tumor.
No. That is a pre chadash. It's a sidra tara. Rafai will go.
I think it's both. The Sidra Torah says, yeah.
Oh, we don't. But that's a different story. It has nothing to do with this. The tissue is still not makabel tumah. Okay, right. Omar Papa. I'm on the Gozel Nascha Mechavre Va'avet Zuzi. Right? If a guy steals a piece of silver from and he makes it into money, into coins, like honey is not coin. My timer, because you could just melt down the coin and you make it right back into silver. Zuzi Va'avdinu Nascha Koni, but if you take coins and you make it into a thing of silver, then you're kind of. My Amar, what are you going to say? Zuzi? You could put it back to a coin. It's going to be the same. It's going to be panam chadashis. If you took old coins that were dirty, tarnished, and you made them new, you shine them up, you're not kind of, because they go right back to being tarnished. But if they were new and you made it into, and you made them tarnished, then you are kind of. My Amrit you can go back and make it into new. You're going to know that it was tarnished before. Meaning you can never get those coins back.
Coins are always in tarnished. So why is it?
That's what it's saying. That's what it's saying. Right? And even if you clean it up, you're not going to be able to get it back to its original glory. To its original glory. Yeah. Okay, all gazlonin pay kishas hagzelos. It says zeh klal. It says this is the rule. So what's the rule? What's the rule coming to include? That every gazlan pays the way it was worth kishas hagzelos. Zeh klal lasuya mai. What's it coming to include? Lasuya adam rav ganav tle benasa ayil. If a guy steals a tle and it becomes an ayil, meaning it just grows up, so it changed its name. Yeah, Egel v'nasa shor. If it's a calf and it becomes a shor, nasa shinu b'yadui. V'kanu, it's shinu in his hand, and he's kind of because since it changed its name, it went from calf to cow. So the memela, it's he's kind of tavachu machar. So memela, since he's kind of, so we remember way back that if once a ganav shechs something or sells it, then he has to pay daled behay. So here, when he shechted it and sold it, he doesn't have to pay daled behay because since he was kind of, since it grew up, so then it was his own animal that he shechted, so he only has to pay kefil. It's his that he shechted, and it's his that he sold. A guy sold a pair of shores from his friend. Azal karabu karba. He went and he plowed with them. Zarabu zara, and he planted with them. He plowed and planted with them. And then he decided it was basically rent a shore. He did rent a shore. He stole it from his friend. He plowed his field, planted his field, and then he gave it back. So also
rent a shore without paying for it.
Yes, of course, yes. You know, like we talking about with the Super Bowl, we can't rent your TV from the Super Bowl and then return it, right? Same deal. So also look at the Rav Nachman. They came from Rav Nachman. Amalu zilu shumay shvacha da ashpa. Go evaluate how much your field was improved, and so how much it was improved, and pay it to the Gazan. So he's not tolerating it. Rav Nachman was not tolerating this improvement. So Amalei Rava, meaning he had to pay for it. Amalei Rava, Ture Ashbach, Aralei Ashbach. You tell me that the shar, why does he have to pay 100% of the improvements? Why does he have to pay for it? It wasn't only the shar wasn't the only thing responsible for the improvements. The land also participated in the improvement, right? He had good land or whatever it was. So why should he have to pay the whole thing? Again, Omar Le Rava, Ture Ashbach, Aralei Ashbach. Amar Mikamina Nashayim Mekule. Did I say that you have to evaluate the whole thing? Palga Kamina. I said you have to do half. Amar Le Saif Gzelahu. It's really Gzela, but Kahadra Ba'inai.
I mean, he didn't say half in our version of the brisa.
He did not, but he says you have
right.
To,
okay.
But he didn't say not. He just said evaluate.
Okay, but he didn't say half. But okay.
So Amar Le Saif Gzelahu, but Kahadra Ba'inai. he says, but at the end of the day, it's stolen, and we know that all you do is just give it back, right? You steal something, you just give it back. Gazanim just pay what it was worth. So why do we have to make this cheshbonos? He said, did I not tell you? When I'm sitting in din, don't come hack me a chinik. Don't. When we're sitting in din, don't open your mouth. The Amar Huna because Rav Huna, my friend said about me, right? This is who's talking here again? Rav Nachman, right? Yeah, I know. Ushvar Malka, me and Shvar Malka, Achi Bedina. We are brothers in din. Shmuel, right? Because a lot of the psukim that we're saying in the Gemara here are from Shmuel. So we called him Shvar Malka because he was like the king of Paskening Dine Mamas. So no, Shvar Malka, Achi Bedina. We're brothers in din. Hi Inish Gazlana Atikahu, and this person is an old gazler, meaning he's a repeat offender. Since he's a repeat offender, say we want to give him a knas, meaning, and therefore we want him to have to pay. Meaning this guy does this every Super Bowl. Every Super Bowl he's going and he's renting out the renting out the things, right?
So we're not learning anything from this because this was a one-time guy. This guy had special case for this guy.
Yeah. Now.
Well, any repeat offender. It's this. Our Gemara started off with the opposite. Tekanas Hashavim. We ended up with a knas on a repeat offender.
Right. So that's the opposite of the Tekanas Hashavim. Elamai, he gave up on the guy. He gave up on the guy doing the Tekanas Hashavim.
It's a big finish that Rav Nachman could give somebody a knas.
Yeah. Okay, my Mora sister is here, and she's knocking me off the daf.
No, I'm not knocking you off. No, I'm not knocking you off. They're davening Myrick.
Okay, daven Myrick. So where they davening? Yes, we have to daven first.
You davened already?
Okay,
we gotta wait for Stroil.
When is he coming?
No. Yeah.
If we could go weiter, no?
What?
We could go weiter. Myrick starts by Shemon Esrei, I thought, according to his times.
Well, Stoves, if you would stop interrupting, maybe we can go weiter.
I'm going. Let's go.
The sister's there. You're not going to be able to hear anything.
Israel is here. Peretz is not here. Peretz, you here?
Okay. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm outside on the porch.
Peretz is fortifying himself.
All right, let's say it to him. Yeah. Shim is malach. So.